home. One of them actually goes back to school next week. But yeah, no, we've the last month while we've had the sunny weather, it's been lovely. Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose at this stage you're just looking forward to getting back racing. It's a long time
Yeah.
off, isn't it?
So we did our first decks yesterday morning. We've declared our first 2-year-olds this morning. So yeah, obviously both at Newcastle. Just hoping that everybody gets a green light, and we can crack on.
Yeah, it's going to be. I think the novelty's worn out now. Everyone just wants to get back to normality. Nobody could have foreseen how bad things got, but hopefully now the worst is over. You seem to have known a brief bit about the virus.
Yeah, just following the statistics from Italy and from China, and kind of March 23rd, I spotted that things were happening different in Italy than they were in China, and we just tried to let as many people know that it was far more serious than a virus that was only killing the vulnerable. And then myself and my daughter caught it, or we believe we caught it. We didn't bother getting tested. We kind of had it when there was a time when only the very sick were being tested, and then we recovered early April, and yeah, just kind of followed it since, and monitored it, and helps make decisions in terms of whether or not we should be going racing, whether or not I should send my children back to school, and stuff for things like managing things on the farms as well, in terms of safety for the staff, making sure that everybody's staying safe basically.
Yeah, well, John Gosling came out with a great statement there last week. I thought that it's more dangerous going to the supermarket as it will be going racing, because it's outdoors. Obviously, it's a bigger space and you have more. Well, social distance can be followed. I suppose if a race course can cater for 15,000 people, you're not going to have nowhere near that figure going now when racing starts.
Yeah. I haven't been to a supermarket since January. Actually, in February we were buying everything on home delivery. March and April and May, we've been buying things from like catering companies, just to basically come get a slot markets and using our brains. And yeah, in terms of racing, I mean, obviously owners aren't allowed to attend, public aren't allowed to attend. So yeah, it's no different. It should be no different as long as social distance is followed. Looks like the BHA have got that in order. Then it should be completely safe as far as I'm concerned.
For the likes of yourself trying to sell syndicates, is it harder now than ever when there's no people allowed to go racing to try to sell the horses, or it hasn't really come down that line yet?
So I bought a load of horses in October and August, September last year, and a lot of them were sold out by January, so before kind of coronavirus reached us. Odd ones finally sold out in February. I've got shares available in one yearling at the moment. I bought a breezer 3 or 4 weeks ago privately, advertised shares, and I had 10 or 12 people sign up straight away, and that sold out within a week as well. And that one's going to run hopefully in the next 10 days. So
yeah, Yeah, and Nick Bradley Racing was formed in 2015. How did this come about? You've been involved in racing prior to that, haven't you?
Yeah, so I was a professional gambler for a lot of years, sort of 2000, 2002 onwards, and I kind of worked 365 days a year when it was kind of easy to get a bet on, and people were still learning what I'd already learned, if you like, and so I made a lot of money in that period of time. And then I got involved with Midland Park Racing. I was buying their horses for 6 or 7 years. Left in 2015 and formed Nick Bradley Racing.
Yeah, no, it's been a fantastic success for you. And the colours are now they're one of the most popular colours on the British racecourse, your white silks. And from such a short period of time, like 2015 is not that long ago, to get the Royal Ascot winner, Cheltenham winner, you seem to be getting better and better horses as it comes along. Is that the aim of the game?
So when I go to a sale, I don't go with the premise that I've got to buy a horse. I try and buy a horse that I would be happy enough owning myself, and I look for angles which I think other people don't consider. There's a lot of good guys out there now buying horses, but kind of that's kind of developed over the last 10 years. You've got kind of professional gamblers. There's more and more that's going out and buying horses. But I just try and do it for value for money. And every time I make a mistake, I try not to make the same mistake again. And if I keep doing that, things should get better and better, and they have been doing it, recently.
Yes, it's a very competitive place. Do you think it's better to buy from a proven seller, or what do you think, or just buy the price more and use your own standard? What would be your aim when you're buying at the sales?
So it would depend completely on the sales. So we've got a couple of stud farms. So the decisions we make for where our mares go is completely different to the decisions I make when I'm buying yearlings to race for Nick Bradley Racing. We're making commercial decisions, whereas when I go and buy yearlings, I try and kind of buck the trend, if you like. I try and do the opposite to what a lot of people do. But you've got to have a very good physical. That's rule number one. You've got to have a horse that you believe in can do the job. So confirmation wise, there's plenty of things I forgive, but there's plenty of things I wouldn't forgive. And I just try and buy horses that I think are good, excellent value for money, and have an upside if they perform well on the track. My ultimate aim is to buy horses that give the maximum return for the owners, so that when I was at Midland Park, I had a lot of guys come into the industry, spend a bit of money, have a bad experience, and leave. So what I try and do is do it best, pound for pound. My aim is to be the best pound for pound syndicate out there, or owner out there. That's the aim.
Yeah, well, it's racing clubs and syndicates. They seem to be the future of racing, but they minimise the risk of the investor. But your syndicate, you're trying to, everything is sort of to try to make profit. Is everything for sale in your stock as such?
Yeah, I won't be the only one syndicate where everything's for sale, but everything's for sale at the right price. In terms of the horses, but obviously we have to talk to the owners and make sure that that everybody's happy to do that. If we are selling a horse, and we do have a bit of a vote, and I'd like to think people listen to my advice. So yeah, everything is for sale, but that isn't. We're not trying to sell horses 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. What we're trying to do is buy a horse, campaign it well, and then hopefully sell it at a profit at the end of its 2-year-old or 3-year-old year. That's generally job number one. Yeah,
and your Glebe Farm, that's a breeding syndicate. What is the background of that there? What is the idea behind that?
So I was going to the sales, and I started off by going to horse training sales probably 12, 15 years ago. And then developed and started going to the breeze ups and then the yearling sales, and progressed to the mare sales. And I remember I had a good win the year that, I can't remember. So I had a good 2010, 2011. I bought a farm with a few acres attached, and then a couple of years later I bought another 12 or 13 acres, and then we kind of added, and I bought another farm 3 or 4 years ago. We now have got over 100 acres. So what we try and do there is we've got mares on the farms. We produce foals, and we sell the foals at the foal sales, or we hang on to them and sell them at yearling sales, but primarily foal sales. And the aim is just. I found that people when they go racing, they enjoy it, but a lot of people when they go to the racing yards, they enjoy that just as much. And then I thought, well, hang on, if they enjoy that, they'd like to come to the stud farm to see what goes on there. And we've had open days early on in this year and in previous years, and people love coming here. They love seeing the new stock. Particularly foals that have just been born. So we just kind of developed it like that, and then we've put the financial side on it. So we bought a filly, covered her, and she'd be presented for resale. And kind of the last 3 or 4 years, I've had clients who, when I've gone to buy a mare, they've said, "Oh, I'll take half of that." So we've had people do that, and now I've just kind of opened it up a little bit more, so more people can get involved.
Yeah. So the next couple of years, will really see the benefits of that side of the Glebe Farm. It's sort of a longer term process as such, isn't it?
So the filly we've done this year was a filly. We bought a filly called Vivid Dream from the family of Territories and Chamadal. It's a very, very good family. We've covered her with Valguy, so we bought her in February at the French sales. She'll be presented for sale in December at the Arcana breeding stock sale, and hopefully the guys involved, make a significant profit on their investment, and then they can go again. It's very, very simple process. Buy a filly, cover it, sell her on in full, and hopefully there'll be a margin there for everybody.
You've some fantastic winners. One of my favourite winners from your colours is Little Kim winning in France. I think that was a fantastic time. But there's so much success in such short space time, like Dr. Phoenix winning the Danmire handicap. There's so much Racing Sand winning at Ascot. You could go through and through of all the successes, even Cribs Causeway. They've all just, the amount of winners you've had in such a short space of time, you'd have to pinch yourself at that you've only been going from 2015 as you're under your own brand. And it's only...
Yeah, we've had a lot of good horses in recent times. Little Kim, I remember that race. She nearly didn't go in the stall. She was actually kicking out at the French handlers, and we were pulling our hair out kind of 10 seconds before that she eventually went in. And she won there. Yeah, she won the Group 3. And then she was actually favourite for the Super Sprint, but didn't like the ground that day. Yes, she was good. Cribs Causeway was a filly we actually bred ourselves, sent her to the sales, and Amanda Skiffington liked her. She bought her for Roger Charlton, and then we said, well, we like her. Can we get him back involved? And Roger, he's got the 3-year-old out of the mare. So he's got the half sister to Cribs Causeway. He'll be winning in June. Racing Sand's been an outstanding horse. He's won 4 times at Ascot, and I think there's only 2 horses won more than him at Ascot, and one's called Frankel, and the other one's called Blue Point. So
it's amazing, like. And Dr. Phoenix, is he staying in training this year? Or is...
No, he's retired. Unfortunately, he had several issues that kind of that, and as National Hunt Game, as age can get the better of him eventually. So he's out of training. He's been retired. But he was a great horse for us. We picked him up for 10,000. He won several huge races. One of the races he was going to beat under Sir. I'm certain he would have beaten him. He was jumping a second last upsides, and Dr. Phoenix when he runs, he kind of does his best work late on. And that day pulled upsides under Sir, and unfortunately fell. So yeah, he was a brilliant horse for us.
Yeah, no, he was. You don't get horses coming around like that too often. And as you say, the races there, which he could have won, but it's always his game. It's a game of jumping, isn't it? But he was a fantastic flag bearer for your stable in Ireland. I don't think you've any in Ireland training at the minute, do you?
No, I don't. I was going to send Gordon a breezer, but then it looked like UK was going to start ahead of Ireland, so I brought the horse over here. But it's not something that we've drawn a line to or anything like that. It's just the way it's kind of panned out. But no, we'll be looking to add more horses in future years, certainly with Gordon, and other successful trainers.
Yes, I suppose, would you consider Ireland more competitive? Is it harder to get a winner in Ireland, or would it be that wouldn't be on your mindset?
So that is definitely on my mindset. Obviously, if you're doing yearlings, then most of the races when you rock up, you're gonna be running against the likes of Aidan O'Brien. I'll have 2 in there, J. Lyons, Jesse Harrington, etc. And a lot of the races in Ireland tend to be open maidens, rather than over here you'd get median auctions, novice auctions, where the cap each race has got a cap in terms of how much the horse has been allowed to cost at the sales. So over here it's easier if you've got a good horse to find the races for them. Whereas in Ireland, if you bought a horse for 10,000, 90% of the fixture book will be races where you're running against horses that might be a Galileo out of the Group 1.
Yeah, I suppose it's also the method of the racing's not on as much in England. You've got more of a wider programme. In Ireland, we're sort of limited, and everyone's sort of looking at the same programme. And in England, you have them maybe 5 times over in different race courses. A horse that of yours I'm very interested in, YOLO again. I think that horse is a fantastic potential. What's the plans this year for him?
Yeah, so we bought her out of Johnny Murtagh's as a 2-year-old, 30,000. She went to Lingfield for the All-Weather Championships Day, finished 4th that day. She won a couple of times at 3. We thought about retiring her, but we've kept her in training. I nearly entered her today for the Abernant at Newmarket on Coronation Stakes Day, but we didn't. She will go to the Cecil Frail at Haydock for a 6 furlong race, listed race. So she's a filly. She's the first foal out of the mare called Sweet, who is an Invincible Spirit filly. And the idea here that with her is to get black type. So she'll go for listed races all throughout this season. The aim will be to finish 3rd in a listed race. She's already finished 4th at 2. And if we can get black type with her this year, then the owners will be delighted.
And another horse that I like, Frankel Storm. You have a Mark Johnson. That's a fantastic bred horse. bred out of Gales Force. What is the story behind that 3-year-old fella?
So the plan was to go for a race actually close to the Linfield Oaks trial. Unfortunately, she was found to be injured 17 days ago in a box. We haven't got a proper diagnosis as yet, but we suspect she's got a slight stress fracture. So she's on box rest at the moment. But we won't see her running in June, but we should see her back on the track in July.
Yeah, and just to let our viewers know, if they're interested in buying any shares, you just go onto your website. It's www.nickbradleyracing.co.uk and available shares there. And you said what's available at the minute, Nick?
So yeah, we've got one horse available, which is a Glen Eagles filly, bought from Book One for 50, 52, 55,000, something like that. In training with Matt Johnston. She came back to Glebe Farm. She had she developed ringworm literally 3 weeks after returning here, and it was a bad case of ringworm. So she was late going to marks. She was broken in late January, early February, and then she had a couple of little niggles. One of them was a skin rash. And then she was a little bit temperamental on their round gallop, which they use to do hacking before they go into the main gallop. But the last 3 or 4 weeks, she's turned inside out. Proper filly. She's out of a mare called Cape Columbine. It was 5th in the 1,000 guineas. She actually went on the main gallop for the first time this morning, and Charlie Johnson said she moved amazingly. She did it easy. She'll have 4 weeks cantering on there. Then we'll look to work her, and she'll be running in the second half of July, and she'll be a filly that right now I would recommend highly because Charlie's very keen on her.
That's fantastic.
Sponsored by Tips from the Stables.